Hello there. Well, it is 4 o'clock-ish, and just as promised, here I am for today's Life on the Light Side. Now, you probably wondered, what was I thinking that I put down, you know, 4 o'clock-ish? Well, I happen to have some sweet potatoes in the oven because I'm going to make that sweet potato coconut curry soup today. And I wanted to make sure they were done before I started the video because I didn't want to be thinking about that. Sometimes I'll have something in the oven and think I'm going to go get it, go get it out before we're done, and it burns. So here we are. I'm so happy to be here with you, and I hope that you are likewise happy to be here with me. And if you haven't seen one of our Life on the Light Side videos, welcome. Sit down, have a seat. It's basically about kicking back, enjoying your time, and having a relaxing and lightening time. No matter what's going on in the world, we all need a time to get a break from it and lighten up. And the crazier it gets in the world, the more we need to do that. Just reminded me that of something Charles Fillmore said. We're going to be talking about time in a little bit, but Charles Fillmore said, the more that I have to get done, the more I need to take my prayer time. Time sure is funny, but. Let's go back to where we were. If you enjoyed today's visit and you're your first, go to YouTube. Type in Life on the Light Side, L-I-T-E side, and you can see all our videos. So we will start out today, as we do, with the National Day Calendar. Oh, and there was so much on it today, and I wished I had more time to look at it, but I had an experience I'll share with you in a couple of minutes. So today is National I Want You to Be Happy Day. And it requests that you do something that makes others happy. Now, you wonder, well, what can I do to make somebody else happy? Yes, we are all responsible for our own happiness, but there's surely things we can do to help others to be happy. Sometimes it just takes a note. Did you ever notice how often we will just walk by someone we know, a relative or a friend, whatever, and in our mind we say, like, this really stuck in my mind. There was a lady I worked with, and one day she had these really cool earrings on, and I just thought they were so wonderful, and I didn't stop and tell her. Now, I know you don't have to stop and tell everybody something, but I really wished I had, because just taking this little teeny bit of time and sharing something nice with someone, that is just, it makes your whole day better. It makes their day better. A compliment is quite amazing, and it's easy. So think about that. So you can help someone else be happy by sharing a compliment, a sincere compliment. Don't go running around and making stuff up. Make it something that you're really happy about. So some of the suggestions they had were leave a sticky note on someone's desk or on their car or different kinds of stuff like that. Buy coffee for the person behind you in line. If you buy your coffee out, I can't figure that out, because coffee is made really to your own liking every day at home, and you put in what you like. And I think the only time I buy coffee out is like if I'm on the road, and then I'll stop and I'll get coffee, and then I'll use those little flavored creamers, which I don't tend to use at home. Okay, so those were some of the ideas that National Day Calendar. You can always go to nationaldaycalendar.com and read it all. They have history about what's going on, all kinds of good things. It's National Anthem Day. And, you know, it's late in the past several years, we've had these challenges with patriotism and what it means to be a patriot and whether or not it's okay to take a knee during the national anthem and all that stuff like that. And it's so superficial. We got to get past it. If someone wants to take a knee to bring attention to the fact that there is police brutality, it's not against the flag. It's not against the national anthem. It's saying, look, we got a problem. I'm demonstrating how I feel about that problem, and let it be. Let it be. We don't have to criticize everybody for everything. My goodness, we've gotten to be such nitpickers, just looking for what can we pick on somebody. So the National Day fell under that, because if a singer makes a mistake and flubs a word, we've all seen. I mean, I remember, I think it was many years ago, Robert Goulet made a mess of it and just forgot the words. It happens when you're in public sometimes. So yes, I respect the national anthem, but we can't make a sacred cow out of it. We look at the words, we're proud to be an American, and okay, so we're lightening up, so I'm going to ask you not to get mad at me when I say this. Please don't get mad at me. Don't be hating. I always wondered, wouldn't it be amazing if we had an anthem that didn't have to have bombs bursting in air and, I don't know, because I always thought America the Beautiful would be a wonderful national anthem. Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain. Oh, yeah, asking God to bless it or, Well, that's just my 2 cents. So, I hope you didn't see that as political, because it was not meant as political. It was meant as, we're making this big deal all around it, that instead of calling us together to stand together, it's more like separating us and dividing us. We are the United States, and I pray we will one day reunite. See? United we stand. So that's my little thought on National Anthem Day. And so today is also Soup It Forward Day. Hence, soup on the stove. Well, not yet, but the sweet potatoes are cooked, and that's half the battle, is getting that part done, because it's the longest and more tedious. So the idea is, there is an organization that is 25 years old, and it's called the Soup Sisters. And these women started getting together and making soup and sharing it with places where there was a need or people in crisis. And they have now 25 chapters of people making soup to give away. They talk about having a party, especially if you've got, teenagers or preteens or whatever, to get everybody together, and the kids could do like a sleepover, so they could, either come over, have fun, have the sleepover next day, make the soup, give it away, or make the soup that night, let it get packaged up and cooled overnight and deliver it the next day. What a wonderful thought. And why soup? Because soup just always makes you feel warm and and cozy, and I don't know how far back that goes, but I know soup always makes me feel special. And when we're out of this pandemic, one of the things I'm going to be so happy about is I learned how to make all these other soups. I cooked all my life. I went to cooking school, for gosh sakes. And I have never made the fun soups that I've been making since I've been at home. So it's been quite a wonderful learning experience. Okay. It is also cold cut day. And boy, we think about, cold cuts and now, of course, I don't eat typical cold cuts because I'm a vegetarian. But for those who do, there's so many varieties, and it's a way of getting some quick protein. Put it in a sandwich. And who was the creator of the sandwich? I think everybody should know this one. Of course, it was the Earl of Sandwich, who was so busy playing poker, having so much fun playing poker, he did not want to have to leave the poker table to go get his lunch. So he said to the servant, just go and put some of that meat on some bread and bring it to me. Hence, today we have sandwiches. So I had a sandwich today for lunch that was using my cold cuts. Yes, there are vegetarian cold cuts. And I gotta tell you, I got one of my favorites that I haven't had in years. It's called Wham. It is vegetarian version of ham. It has a texture and that very smoky flavor that you get in ham. And I had not had it in years because they don't sell it that much on the East Coast. The only way I could get it was through a company, a mail order company that makes these foods. And I've used a lot of their other foods, but for some reason, they don't sell the Wham in little packages. They only sell this big roll of it. And you go like, I can't eat that. And it comes frozen, so it has to be specially packaged and all this craziness. Well, I got some when I got an order from that company last time, and I shared it with my sister. We chipped in and bought it together, and but it's, I mean, when I say it's frozen, it's like a rock. How are you going to cut this thing? Well, they put it out on the counter just long enough for it to just barely get soft enough to cut. And they cut it into chunks. And she got 3 chunks and I got 3 chunks. And I've been having so much fun with my chunk. Everything went back, of course, in the freezer before it was thawed. So it's going to be fine. But oh my goodness, you can do so much with that. And so on National, Cold Cut Day, think of the things that you can do with cold cuts. It's not just about making sandwiches. You can make fancy little hors d'oeuvres with them. And one of the things that we used to make in school that was one of our fancy things that we put out is little cornucopias made from salami. It'd be like a little circle of hard salami, and you make a cut from the middle to the edge, and then you just twist it around, and you put an olive in the middle and put a toothpick in it. And let me tell you, it's very cute and very fancy. Those are the things from back in the day. You figure I'm making those 50 years ago. Probably don't make them so much anymore, but you know what? I like antique things, so maybe you could bring it back. I don't know why not. So it is. We'll put National Cold Cut Day back on the back burner there, and it is Mulled Wine Day. Now I haven't had my wine yet today, and I'm thinking maybe I'll mull it. Not mull it, mull it. it's really nice because it's warm and it's spicy and it gives you a very, very warm, cozy feeling. And that's a good thing. So maybe I will do that. So all these nice things that we're talking about after the messes that mess of the weather that we've had, the cold and the ice and the rain. So that brings me to my story, my amusing story of my morning today. You can tell I'm trying to do something with the hair, and it's just getting really, really impossible. I'm ready almost to take out the scissors and hack away at it myself. But anyway, so this morning I decided I was going to color my hair. And what I do is, this is a wash-in. It's a combination shampoo and conditioner. And so I put it on, and it tells you have to put it on for about 20 minutes. But I put it on for an hour because I figured, they can really stay on there and do something. So I had it, and normally I would slick it all back and just kind of have it would look decent while I waited out my hour. But this morning, it was all twisty on my head because I was running low and not knowing when I'd be able to get out and get some more. I kind of went easy on the color, and I really, really, really rubbed in what I had so that, so it go as far as it could and coat as much hair as it could. So, and besides, who's going to see me? Well, because I did this in the morning before I took my shower, because I would wash it out in the shower, okay? That meant I had my pajamas on. Now, I did not have my best pajamas on because it's almost time to do laundry. So I have pajama pants and a totally unmatching shirt on. And my hair is all bonkers all over my head and purple. And also, well, there comes a knock at my door. I was so shocked. There's nobody knocks on my door in the winter. So I went out and I go to the door, and there's a guy standing there. And I said, "Can I help you?" And I'm trying to hide a little bit, anything. I was so shocked I didn't even think to put a hat on or something. And he says, "We're campers. We just kind of wanted to check out the campground." Well, normally we tell people, if you want to check out the campground, make an appointment. Because you don't realize it, but there's insurance risks. You can't just have people walking around the property. Someone gets hurt and they're not actually camping there, So, I said, "Let me call my sister and we'll get you out there." And so I called my sister, and she couldn't do it right then. And so I had to go outside and tell him that it was okay to just take a walk around. So now I'm going outside in this ridiculous outfit with my hair all crazy and sticky. And when I turned around to come back in the door, we had a windstorm 2 nights ago. Bad windstorm. And I thought the house was going to blow away. 45-mile-an-hour winds. And it took my furniture from the porch, and it blew it across the porch into a pile by the railing. And I did not even go out the door yesterday because it was so bitter. It was like 17 degrees and high winds. No, I stayed in the house. Didn't even think about it. So I thought about, what did these people think? They came up, this crazy lady with stuff in her hair and pajama pants and the furniture blown around on the porch. It was hilarious. Took 2 minutes to right the furniture and went inside, hopped in, took my shower, got that done with. And by the time they were done, my brother-in-law actually was over here and took them for a tour. And they were done, so I could chat with them before they left, and they could see my porch was okay. And oh, golly, that was hard. You know, did you ever wonder, you've probably said it yourself, I could have died from embarrassment. And you have those moments. And this morning, I chose to laugh about this and share it with you because if you happen to ever to be so embarrassed you think you could curl up and die, you live. You live, and you have to learn to laugh and not just don't let it take your day down, because it can do that. You know, we have our ego going, and the minute we do something, you know, we feel so stupid, and we don't want to do that anymore. So much for that. I want to talk a little bit about time today. I noticed that I had gotten to a point where I started to kind of like my day would disappear and I would wonder, where did it go? And the things that I wanted to do weren't getting done. Now, this is a real delicate balance, okay? Because we can't go around feeling that if we're not constantly productive, that we're doing something wrong. Sometimes you have to stop being so productive so you can restore and renew and recharge and get your creativity going again. And so I really wanted to, because I started to feel bad about myself, and I said, oh, I'm not getting anything done, and I've got so many things I want to do. I got to get my books going. I got to get everything going, and this is going to be over pretty soon. You know, we're going to be back to camping season, and I'm going to be, you know, working, you know, like 10, 14 hours a day sometimes between the time I get up and go to the office and get in, if I go out and do stories at night and stuff like that. Just, it chews up the whole day. But I want to tell you that downtime is a wonderful way to lighten up. And don't be too harsh on yourself. Yes, we do want to accomplish stuff, but we don't want to make. See, the minute you think about this, okay? Why don't you really think about this? Very often, the minute a job or a task or a project we're doing is done, we forget about it. It's like, okay, that's there. We don't even realize that we accomplished something. Why? We're busy getting on to the next thing and the next thing. And there's always going to be a next thing. So, there's a few things. First of all, highly recommend lists. I probably showed this to you already before, but not everybody's seen it, so I'm going to show it again. This is something I made, and it says goals for today. Oh, there we go. Goals for today. And there's just 5 goals, and then it says what I am doing now helping to accomplish my goals. Yeah, we do sometimes slip off into literally wasting time. There's a certain amount of time it's okay to waste, but there's too much worry is a way of wasting time. Worrying it sucks the energy out of you, whereas accomplishing even a small thing feeds your energy. Did you ever think about that? That's why it's important in the morning that the first thing you do is the most distasteful task on your task list. Because if you do that, you go into the day charged. It's the same thing with that thing about don't ever go to bed with dirty dishes in the sink. Because if you do, you wake up and the first thing you do is see those dishes and you're drained. Yesterday is pulling you down. You want to lighten up. So if you want to lighten up, make sure there's no dirty dishes in that sink when you go to bed. The other thing is have a goals list. See, I made this. I just I want to fix it so you can see it. There we go. I had my sister laminate it for me. So I can write on the list and then I can wipe out wipe it off and do it again for 12. So if you do little tricks, you got to trick yourself sometimes. So if you do little tricks like make yourself a to-do list, write it down, do this the night before if you can, because that way you start the day with your list. You don't get off track. You're right there. You got your list right there. Same thing as putting out your clothes for the next day. So you get up and you do it. There's so many things that we can do while we're watching TV or, listening to the radio or something. There's these little things we can do. So as we're getting ready for bed, we make a little routine out of it where we, make our little goals list. What do I want to get done tomorrow? And then we pick out our clothes for the next day and put them out. Now, even though you're not going anywhere, you have your stuff ready, because if you don't, you're going to be far less likely to get done what you wanted to get done that day. So I invite you to try that. Just try it. Make a list, and oh my goodness. Very thirsty and dry today. So I also have this is Simplify Day. Wednesday is Simplify Day unless I decided something else. This is from Living the Simple Life. And there was something here that I really wanted to share with you. It says, be aware of the pitfalls of having extra time on your hands. Now, especially if you've been staying home a lot of the time you spend out in the world is no longer spent out in the world. So this says making changes in your schedule so you can free up an hour or two every morning for the next month will make it possible for you to start making some dramatic changes in your life. It can also be terrifying or tremendously challenging. You might feel guilty, or you might want to run screaming back to some time-consuming drama so you don't have to deal with the real issues, or it can be all of the above. Keep in mind that the complications in our lives can take on a momentum of their own. They can rapidly expand to fill the time allotted for them. Now, they can also, to fill the time allotted for them. They can also expand to fill time that is not allotted for them, okay? Stay focused no matter how strong the temptation. Don't let the latest crisis, yours or anyone else's, into your newfound time. So I liked it that she used the word guilt in there, because sometimes if we're not being productive at the moment, we feel guilty. If we do it all the time, we have to figure out what is that, where's the line? Where are we crossing the line? So one reason we should schedule some of our quiet time away from our usual setting where most of the distractions occur with predictable regularity. It's getting a little warmer now, and we can probably schedule some time off going for a walk. You can do it in the cold, but I just don't go well with that. As not a cold person, I turn into a popsicle. If you're in the habit of feeling rushed and overpowered by your schedule, don't allow that habit to carry into your new free time. Make a concerted effort, especially in the early stages of simplifying, to stay loose and relaxed. You may reach a point where it feels as though it would just be simpler to continue with your hectic life. It's clear to me now that one of the reasons I maintained a complicated life was because I was afraid of what I'd have to unravel in order to simplify it. Such good ideas, such good ideas. Also remember, we know how to move at breakneck speed, so at one level that feels comfortable. So slowing down does not always feel comfortable. We might feel guilt. We might feel like we're missing something, like we're falling behind. So I invite you not to take my word for whatever you need to change, but look at your own. Look at your own life and how you feel about your time, how you spent the time. Don't get to feel you're not productive because you're just looking at, what you're doing at the moment. Chances are, if you look behind you, you're going to find a lot of things that you have gotten done. So, I hope that gave you something to think about. And I really, really encourage you to lighten up. Take some time just for yourself, but don't let it get you carried away. A little bit of time, sometimes I got to force myself to turn off the TV. I like the background chatter, but it also blocks some of the thinking in our mind. Next thing you know, we're distracted by it. So have a good day. Keep it simple. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's story time. Story time. Have a good day and lighten up, my friend.